It is that time. Welcome to Training Tuesday. Tonight we're going to talk about self-isolating habits, a pattern of behavior that we have, that some women have, that is all about being capable and self-sufficient, and yet the way that we live out this pattern results in us feeling isolated and unsupportive. Now, this may not be you, but this could very well be someone you know. Dr. Claire Zammit identifies, I think she says 21 different patterns or profiles that women fall into. And we fall into these based on life circumstances and how we're raised. But she found 21 distinct patterns of behavior. And most of us are going to identify with at least a handful of these. Or we're going to look at, oh yeah, I see myself in that one and that one and that one. Now, I'm not going through all 21. What I was looking at was which of these patterns are most prevalent in women who are smart, who are hardworking, who are ambitious, who have these big, hairy goals to cover. Basically, which of these profiles were most relevant to you, right? In this group, we have a whole bunch of ambitious women who have goals to tackle. And so some of the patterns were going to be more relevant for us. So I wanted to cover a couple of those. Tonight, I'm starting with what she calls the isolation pattern. So we're going to dig deeper in that. But first, for those of you who don't know me or have not joined me on Training Tuesday before, welcome. It's Training Tuesday. You are in Accelerating Leadership for Professional Women. I am Natalie Hahn, CEO of Dirty Girls Consulting, and I am very happy to have you here. Please say hello in the chat. I will try to watch comments and questions as they come in. Sometimes I get to see them, sometimes I don't, but I try very hard to manage the comments. So if you have questions as I'm talking or comments, or this sounds like you or someone you know, by all means, speak up. What I want to talk about tonight, like I said, may not be you, maybe someone you know. But this is what this pattern looks like. You have a woman who is very capable. She's a doer. She's a fixer. This is the woman who gets shit done. She gets it done. And she typically gets it done without asking anybody else for help or a lot of support. This is a very self-sufficient woman. Now, the cool thing about this profile, of course, is that we all are very strong, very smart, very capable women. We're going and we're getting things done. We have a task list. We're knocking things off. Somebody needs help. We can absolutely help them conquer that and solve that problem. The challenge is that we don't ask for help. And we don't ask for help for a lot of reasons. One is it could be something in our upbringing or something in our situation that has encouraged us to be self-sufficient. So I shared with you guys yesterday, this is a pattern that speaks to me particularly, which is why I'm sharing it with you first. This is why I made it first list, because I was like, yeah, that one's me. Single mother, 3 kids, working mother at the same time, right? My career was everything except for my kids, who were everything. And when you're in that mode of feeling like, especially as a single mom, reliant on myself. Was raising my kids in a place I didn't have family nearby, so I felt doubly that I had to do this by myself, and I didn't want to inconvenience friends and ask for help. In my career, especially as I moved up the career ladder, I didn't want to ask for help because I had this belief that I should know already. I should know better. I'm smart enough to figure this out. They hired me for this job. They know that I can do this, so they must think I know this already. I'm going to figure it out. So what ends up happening is we develop these coping mechanisms that are all about figuring stuff out, getting stuff done. But it's anchored around not asking for help, not getting assistance. So while we show up as these smart, capable women who are getting stuff done, who are figuring things out, we're solving problems, we're fixing things at the house, right? We've got our own toolkit. We've figured out how to do most of our minor home repairs ourselves. We know how to solve problems at work for our coworkers. We know how to think through things with our boss. We're getting stuff done, but we're exhausted. We feel chronically unsupported. Because what happens when you're that go-getter, get stuff done person and you come across with all this energy and confidence, everyone looks at you and goes, she's got it covered. Didn't know you needed anything. It looked like you were handling it. We create that. It looks like you were handling it. We create that by not asking for help, by not being transparent or clear that actually this is getting to be a bit much. Actually, I would really love a little of your support right now. So we create the self-isolation ourselves. And in a way, it's a protective mechanism for us, right? Because this is what keeps us feeling safe. As long as the world thinks I know all the answers and I can fix everything, then I look like a good mother. I save my job, right? I won't get fired or anything. So we use it as a method for self-protection, but at the same time, it's draining us. It's exhausting us. It's making us feel like nobody cares and nobody's paying attention. We feel like nobody hears us, but we are forgetting that we're not speaking up. We're not actually telling anybody what we really need. Now, another way that this pattern shows up, and I mentioned this a little bit also, but it bears diving into a little bit more, is when we're in this go-getter mode, right? And we're tackling our task list. We've got these things to do. We got to get them done. We are not big on small talk. That sit around, chit chat for a few minutes at the beginning of a Zoom call, talk about the weather, please. We can all look out the window. We know what the weather is. And fine, you're in Florida. You have sunshine. Thank you for reminding me. I'm in New England. I have ice and snow, right? Like this is in my head. Early in my career. This was like, this is such a waste of time. Why are we talking? Can we just get to the point? Can we get to the agenda? Can we work through this? Because I got things to do. I got other things I got to focus on. And so I would rush through meeting agendas. I would, and I would get just right to the point. And I would have a few people say to me, whoa, okay, you're diving right in, huh? And I was like, yeah, we're diving right in. We're here to work, right? Small talk was not my forte. What I learned actually watching one of my bosses and the fact that he was not just well liked throughout the company and well connected, but he was connected in a way that got things done, that people did things for him, moved mountains for him. And it wasn't just a loyalty to who he was as a leader. It was because he cultivated a relationship with them where they were willing to help out. So this is one area where those of us who fall into this pattern, this self-isolation pattern, where we shoot ourselves in the foot, because what happens is we can, as women in general, we are very good at meeting people. So if you go to a LinkedIn profile, right, for any professional woman, she's got plenty of contacts. We're really good at meeting people. Saying, hey, let's connect, let's exchange, let's hook up on Facebook, let's connect on LinkedIn, let's exchange information. What we're not good at is actually leveraging that network. We have the network, but we're not connecting truly with our network. We're not calling those people up and saying, hey, look, I know it's been 10 years, but I've got this opportunity in front of me and I could use a good word from you. Or, hey, I know we haven't spoken in 5 years. Was wondering how you were doing because I need something. Here's the kicker. That's what those networks are for. That's what they're for. And most men don't have any problem calling somebody up out of the blue because you're in their network and just saying, hey, I'm working on this deal, wondering if you can help. We don't do it. One, in general, as women, we don't do it because we feel like, oh, that's icky. We're just asking and taking, and we're givers by nature. When we're in the isolation pattern, we don't do it because it's asking for help, and we don't do that. So that's the profile, and I have been incredibly guilty of this, and I still have strains of it that come in, right? The not asking for help piece, because what I'm doing is I'm so busy proving that I can, right? Being self-sufficient, being capable, making sure that I look smart and that things are getting done, and things are getting done my way, by the way, and plowing through that task list that I'm not actually stepping back and looking at a bigger picture and figuring out how do I actually really want to take care of things. So if this profile resonates with you, if you're somebody who has that outward perception, very capable, very much a doer, very much a get things done person, but you feel on the inside that you are lacking support, that people don't understand who you are and what you need, and that you are missing connection, like actual deep connections with other people. If that sounds like you, then here's some things that we need to flip in order to break this pattern. And Tracy, I see what you're saying. You said it feels disingenuous when it's been a while since I've spoken to someone to call up and ask for something. Exactly. That's exactly how it feels. But is it? Because that's what our network is for. The whole reason we connect with people, both personally and professionally, is building community, right? Building the network of people who have skills and ideas and things that we can all use. Because here's the thing I would ask you then, Tracy. If somebody called you up out of the blue after 5 years and said, hey, Tracy, I know we haven't worked together since that job 5 years ago. I hope you're doing well. Listen, I needed a favor. I'm talking to somebody over at this company, and I'm trying to get them interested in this project of mine. Would you mind putting a good word for me? I see you're connected to them. How would you feel about that? Some of you might take offense to that and say, I can't believe they're asking me for a favor after 5 years of nothing. But I wouldn't. And a lot of us in business wouldn't, because why? That's what the network is for. Because I've had men reach out after years of not talking to them going, hey, could you do me a favor? And you know what? 10 years ago, we worked well together. I know who they are. I know what they're about. Sure, I'll introduce you to so-and-so. Yeah, I'll absolutely connect you to so-and-so. That's what it's for. I went through my Rolodex recently, last year. Literally went through everyone in my Rolodex and reached out to everybody I had current information from. I didn't have a single person respond to me with a, why are you calling me now? Because we genuinely want to help other people. We don't mind if they call us. We just don't want to be the ones calling them. And that's part of the mental shift that we need to make, right? So when it comes to networking and your network, it comes down to remembering that's what it's there for. That is the entire point of having a network, is to be able to reach out to them at any given point and say, hey, I'm looking for some help here. Do you think you could help me out? Because you would do the same for them. And if it's somebody that you wouldn't do it for, you got to kind of wonder why they're in your network in the first place. So getting back to just the isolation pattern, here's the shift, right, that we need to be looking at. So that's Tracy. Of course I would help. I would give exactly you would help. And most of the time, what are we looking for? It's an introduction to somebody. It's a, hey, you know so-and-so at this company, could you lend a hand, right? They're not even asking for that much of a take. So, okay, how do we shift? How do we shift out of this pattern of where we are creating isolation when we don't want it, right? We're not able to make those deep connections and deep relationships. And by deeper connections, here's the thing, right? This is what I learned from my boss watching him. I skipped over that part of the story, sorry. When I watched my boss, who could kind of move mountains inside this company, what I saw was that he literally connected with everybody about the weather, about their dog's health, about their wife's birthday, about the kids' baseball game. Now, he didn't remember all the details. He didn't have one of those brilliant memory things where he could just name everybody's spouse and everybody's kids and all of that. But every time he engaged with somebody, he took a minute. He took a minute to say, hey, I remember last time we talked, you told me you were running that marathon. How was that? Or are you still training? How's that going? Literally just 2 minutes of opening with small talk dialogue, which to me in the old days, and even sometimes now, I'm looking at my clock going, okay, 2 more minutes of small talk. Now we really got to get going. Like, we got to get moving. This is a waste of time. But it wasn't a waste of time. Because what he was able to do in just that 90 seconds, 2 minutes of small talk exchange was basically tell the other person, I see you and I hear you. And that's the only connection they wanted. It's the only connection people need sometimes, right? We just want to be seen and be heard. And when somebody comes up to you and says, hey, I haven't seen you in a while, Tracy. How's your mom doing? It's nice to know we remember she has a mom, right? It's all about connecting with somebody in a way that makes them realize you see them and you hear them. That is the power of small talk. And that's what I had to learn, that my investment of a couple of minutes up front was well worth what I learned about people. Because suddenly I learned that one of my coworkers was an avid marathon runner. And while I was not a marathon runner, I'd never done more than a half, the training tips I got from him later on were phenomenal. You learn that another friend of yours has a parent who's going through dementia. That's something you want to pay attention to. That's a big deal. And it could be that someone in your family or someone else you know is going through the same experience, right? We build more meaningful connections when we actually take the time to look at the other person for just a minute and say, I see you and I hear you. And the flip side is they do the same for you. Small talk is two-way. When you're seeing and hearing them, they're seeing and hearing you. And when they can see you and hear you, they start to understand a little bit better what you really need, what you're really all about. And then those deep connections you were looking for, those deeper, more meaningful relationships that you wanted, I'm speaking both professionally and personally. Where do they start? They all start from the small talk. They all start from the, hey, how you doing? How's your day? What's the weather? Right? That's where they start. So when we're flipping the script of this isolation pattern, there's a couple things I want you to do. First is step away from the to-do list. Because here's where we're focused in the isolation pattern. We're focused on, we have a list of things to do, and we have other people's needs that have to be met. We are focused on a to-do list and what other people want from us. That's where we're focused. And that's what creates that isolation. It's time to step back. So step back from the to-do list and instead take a look at yourself. What is it that I need right now? Forget my to-do list, because you know what? You're capable, you're smart, and you're a doer. The to-do list is gonna get done. It just is. You're not going to let it sit. But you can afford to take a minute to look at yourself and say, what do I need right now? What do I need to just happen right now? What do I really want to accomplish? I get that I have these 3 tasks that I have to do, but what do I want to accomplish today? And then you're going to take a step further back and say, what do I want to happen here? So let's pretend we're walking in a meeting. Instead of my normal behavior, which is walk into a meeting with my agenda, breeze through the agenda, get out and get back to work, I'm going to take a breath and I'm going to say, what do I need today? I need to get through this to-do list, but to get through this to-do list, what do I need? I need to motivate my team. I need to inspire them. I need to come in with some better energy then if I'm going to do that. How will they be inspired? What's the bigger picture of what I need? I need my team to move this way. I need not only my team, but I need that other person's team to help out too. What energy can I bring to the table to make that happen? When I step back and take a bigger picture approach, it's not about checking the boxes on my to-do list now. It's about how can I engage with these other people to get done what needs to happen here? How am I showing up as a leader? Whether I have the title or not is completely irrelevant. How am I showing up to lead my peers, my team, this group, to help us get something done? And it's more important and it's bigger than just the to-do list. Like I said, you're going to get through the to-do list because that's who you are. That's what we do. We get stuff done. But if we can take a breath and take a bigger focus on what do I need right now to get through this moment, because I probably need help. What's the bigger picture in front of me? Where can I get the help? Well, if I can get this person over here to do this, and if I could get this person over here to help do this, we have a successful project. We have a great outcome. How can I do that? I'm not going to be successful just saying, hey, here's my to-do list. You got this. You got this. Let's go. I mean, I could. That's not very motivating, right? So the first thing you're going to do is take a step back and breathe. What's the bigger objective here? What's the bigger objective surrounding your task list that's going to help you move things forward? That bigger objective is going to push you to connect with other people to help make it happen. How do you connect with other people? Start with the small talk. Come into the meeting and devote the first 3 minutes to, hey, how's that ice? How's the sunshine in Florida? What's the rain like in Northern California? And let everybody warm up to the fact that we're a team and we're working together. Let them know that you see them and you hear them. And that way they will be far more receptive to seeing and hearing you. So, the isolation pattern. You're capable, you're smart, you get shit done, and in that process you self-isolate because you don't ask for help and you don't take the time to really connect with others, even though you want that connection, because you're too busy getting through the list to get stuff done. So your tips to break that are: take a breath, take a bigger, broader look at what you're trying to achieve, what's beyond just your task list, what's the bigger movements you want to make, and then who do you need to connect with to make that happen. So that's our theme for tonight, the isolation pattern. I would love to hear from you guys, which of you either identify with this pattern or you know someone who fits this profile, right? Always looking for deeper connection, frustrated that they can't find it. Always looking for support, but not actually asking for support. So they constantly feel under-supported. And yet they're a doer, they're a go-getter. They seem very capable and like they have it all under control. So it's kind of a surprise when you feel like they're frustrated and they can't handle it. If you guys would like to talk more about this, I would like to invite you to drop the word. What's the word we're going to use tonight? Isolation is kind of a negative word. Let's use capable. Drop capable in the chat. And if you drop capable in the chat, what we'll do is I'll reach out to you and we'll schedule a quick 15-minute phone call. It's not a sales call. It is a phone call. And what we can do is focus on you. If this is your pattern and you recognize this, let's talk about how we shift you out of it. If this is not your pattern, but something in here is resonating with you, let's talk about that. 15 minutes, that's all it is. Sales-free zone, 15 minutes free coaching just for you to just move one step closer to whatever goal you're trying to get to or whatever block you're trying to work through. So drop the word capable in the chat and I will follow up with you over the next day or so. In the meantime, let me know. How does this isolation pattern work for you? Or does it? Oh, last thing before I forget. 5-day challenge. I announced the 5-day challenge. I think I announced it last week, or anyway, over the weekend. 5-day challenge coming up. It starts on Monday. If you're not in it, would love for you to join. The 5-day challenge is a 5-day introductory leadership challenge. So for 5 days, we get a new leadership skill to practice every one of those days. You get the challenge at 8 in the morning, Eastern. This is all Eastern time. 8 in the morning, Eastern time. I go live at noon every day to talk to you a little bit more about what the challenge is about, how we integrate it into our lives. It's just a lot of fun. The challenges are designed for busy, ambitious working women. I know that you guys have jobs and you have families and you have things to take care of, including yourself. So this is not a challenge with like a whole bunch of heavy homework or anything like that. This is just a quick, easy way for you to flex some exercise muscles. All right, flex your leadership muscles, excuse me, and get some practice into really stepping up into leadership, really stepping up into owning who you are and how you want to show up in any area of your life. You are the CEO of your life. You are the only one who can decide what your life looks like, what you're going to have in it, and what you're not. So the 5-day challenge, drop the word challenge in the chat and I will hook you up with the 5-day challenge. Drop the word capable and we'll set up some time to talk. And before I sign off, I just want to see here, Jackie says, good at building relationships, struggle with asking for help. Exactly. Women are brilliant at establishing the relationships. We're terrible at actually asking for help. We're at actually leveraging those relationships to get the support that we're looking for. And yay, Tracy's in the challenge. All right. It was lovely to talk to you guys tonight. I always love Training Tuesday. Again, capable if you'd like the 15-minute chat. And what did I say? challenge if you want to join the 5-day challenge. Look forward to connecting with you ladies again.